Technologically, should anyone do attacks that can actually hurt indiscriminately innocent people? And the ramification of that is it's teaching everyone that it's okay now to mess with other people's devices. So it now creates a sick paranoia around the world, because now we know that if a nation goes to war, there's a potential that your cell phone will blow up. It is very disturbing to me that in war today, we will use devices and have them explode. I understand that in war, anything goes. But unfortunately, as a technologist, I have to explain that Israel and the Hezbollah conflict has gone to a whole new level. It's a level that we can't backtrack from. Now, it's been escalating over time with Israel and Secret Service departments putting explosives into devices to kill people. And this has gone on through World War II. It's gone on for most of the wars, espionage, killing people, poisoning them, etc. But the difference is that we were targeting usually an individual or at least a group of people. And usually they were confined in one geographic location. But now we do attacks that spread across the world, like the pages were spread out across the world when Hezbollah had pages go off that their inner circle, their management were using, which extended to family members and extended to a whole bunch of people. And these pagers in which they used to communicate, to activate their soldiers and to activate their courses with, all blew up. The problem was people were driving in cars. So innocent people, even if you believe that everyone who had a pager was guilty, innocent people that were driving by the side of a car that had a pager blow up, or later a walkie-talkie blow up, puts those innocent people into jeopardy. And to me, I ask this audience, when do we say enough is enough? You see, when we talk about AI being dangerous, how can I tell the audience everything's going to be okay when we go to war and we come out with a fiendish plan to create terror in a different organization, and we randomly choose to just do a complete selective campaign that resulted in setting off devices around the world? And it was indiscriminate. When it went off, innocent people and guilty people are going to be victims. So, the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is to talk about how do we create a better world with this escalation having taken place. And I just want everyone to really ask themselves, especially if you live in the United States, is this something we should be condoning or not? This has nothing to do with, do you believe that Israel has a right to protect itself against Hamas, or if Israel has a right to defend itself against Hezbollah, which are an Iranian-affiliated organization that is protecting the Hamas group. The bottom line here is, technologically, should anyone do attacks that can actually hurt indiscriminately innocent people and maybe hit the guilty, but be so broad? And the ramification of that is it's teaching everyone that it's okay now to mess with other people's devices. So it now creates a sick paranoia around the world, because now we know that if a nation goes to war, there's a potential that your cell phone will blow up, or you will be harmed by the infrastructure that you took for granted. That's scary. And I think we need to really lobby our elected congressmen, senators, our local leaders to really start to have a dialogue in the United States about what is too far. And I think we should take devices off the table of weaponizing a device to explode as a weapon. I think that is going too far. And I think the United States should actually be in the forefront of this debate and actually discuss it. And we need to think about this ramification, that if we're willing to actually take devices and weaponize them, then when and where does this end and stop? I mean, we really got to think about that. I am extremely excited about the fact that we now know about these attacks in almost real time. That because of all the televisions around the world, the CCTVs, and all of the ability for us to have cell phones in different areas, we saw the attack. And what's exciting is that people immediately started discussing it. So one of the cool things is, although the world is changing, and you could arguably say it's becoming a much more evil place, it's also becoming a place much harder to conduct evil and to do nefarious things because you will be discovered and found out. So, in conclusion, I just want all of us to think about this attack that Israel just did and ask ourselves, is it too far? And if you agree with me it's too far, I suggest we start dialoguing with all of our friends and our elected officials and start telling them it is too far and we need laws and regulations for the future. Because, just to make my point clear, if we're willing to do this with devices, then we're also willing to weaponize AI. You see the slippery slope here means that we will also then weaponize our robots in the future, because what the heck, we can turn them into ballistic missiles like dolphins have been turned into. We must not succumb to the easy. War is supposed to be painful because it kills people. As soon as you make war easy by making drones do the killing, then it becomes easy to do the killing if you don't have to risk your own blood and flesh, if you don't have to send your own troops into war. It's a very slippery slope. And although I know that a lot of countries around the world will be exploiting every advantage they can, we've got to start this dialogue and ethically start to think of countermeasures to combat what other bad actors will do, but at the same time not succumb to their bad acts. I know we can do better. Let's succumb to the greatest possible place we could be at. And that would be in a place where we can look at ourselves in the mirror and be happy with how we have remained powerful as a country. I think that there is always a better way to take care of an issue. And when it comes to defeating these negative technologies and defeating bad actors, we have got to show the world a fine example of being a great actor on the world stage, not duplicate the bad acts of others. So thank you for listening to me today, and I hope you got something from this. Please subscribe, but most importantly, please take this message and talk to people. We've got to start a dialogue. This, in my opinion, was too far. Thank you.